Hey guys, it's Stephanie here with Festive Creations by Stephanie. Look at the funness I have on my table tonight. Hey guys, I have been busy making new signs and I'm so excited to be using one tonight. This one was actually so much fun. So tonight I'm actually going to be using a rail from Hot Mesh Mom. Hey Marcy. Hot Mesh Mom, and when I was at Wreath Makers Live last week, I had to snag some of these rails. It's actually a Wreath Rail. Myrna, how are you? And so we're going to be using this. I'm going to show you how to use this. I've got some pipe cleaners, some mesh, my sign that we're going to be using, some ribbon. We're going to be using this new sign. And all right, so we're going to be using Mr. Santa Claus. All right. So this came from Hot Mesh Mom. If you guys want to know more information about where you can get one of these, and you're going to see how I'm going to use it here in just a moment, you can actually text me the word rail to my text message system. So that one that's in the description of the video that we're on right now. So this has 8 bars in it. So we're going to need 8 pipe cleaners. We're just going to fold them in half and fit them right over the bars. Give them a couple of good twists. What's really awesome about the rail, Kari's rails, is it doesn't take as much mesh, right? That's fun too. So it's lower cost out of our pocket, but oh my gosh. And if you guys here where I live in Illinois, most of my customers like thinner wreaths that can fit between their doors. And this one most certainly can fit that bill. And it's not hard to make it all. All right, so that's it. We added 8 pipe cleaners. Now we're just going to take some mesh. This is a 10.5 inch by 10 yard border mesh. And we're going to cut some strips of mesh and add to our rail. Let's put our little guy over here. Actually, you know what? Before we cut our mesh, let me go ahead and add the cable tie mounts to the back. So what I do is I will take the cable tie mounts, a little bit of my DAP glue, and I'm going to add these to my sign so that the glue can start drying, right? That way the glue can set up. The DAP Rapid Fuse glue sets up within 30 seconds. But we want that good and secured before we start working on the mesh. Okay, so now that we've got the cable tie mounts, that can kind of set up while we are working on mesh. Oh, where do we want to put these? There we go. All right, so for this rail, we're going to use 30-inch, as soon as it cooperates, 30-inch strips. So we're going to need 8 30-inch strips. There's one. I had pipe cleaner, come with me. 2. 3. So for this, we're going to do what's called the woodland ruffle. And if you're not familiar with it, it's where you take the ends of your mesh and you curl them in part way. See how I'm just kind of curling that up? We're going to curl both sides, a couple of curls, and then we're going to scrunch it together like we would a normal ruffle. So now we have the curls that don't want to go wonky on me here. We have the curls, we have the ruffle, and I'm going to place this curl side down inside of one of my pipe cleaners, and I'm going to face the curls downward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add one of these woodland ruffles to every other pipe cleaner right now, and I'm going to explain why it's every other in just a moment. And that's one of those, I almost changed the view on my camera tonight, but this was kind of like one of those important views because I want you to see what happens when we do every other. So this one, I skipped one and I'm going to go here. So I skipped one. We're going to do that all the way around. Guess what? There's only 8 ruffles. It kind of makes things go a little faster. If y'all like to do craft and vending shows and you're like in that midnight crunch going, I don't know if I have enough stuff or I need more items in my store, rails come together very quickly. Now we're going to go and we're going to add in between those. So the critical thing that when we add the next layer is we're going to go right on top of, hold on a second. I really wish I had oh, you know what? I do have one. Hello. There we go. I was going to say, I wish I had a clothespin, but I have a clip. Kind of holds it in place, right? So now this time we're going to go in between. You know what? I did that just the opposite, y'all. They should have gone this way. Hold the phone. They should have gone the opposite way. I'm thinking a regular frame, wreath frame. They should have all gone this way. There we go. That looks much better. So let me turn these the other way. Every other one. We're going to go just the opposite direction, or we're going to take this and place it right on top, but we're not going to separate this. Ooh, that's a good question. I did not measure the size of the rail. Hang on a second. It is the 15-inch rail. So when I say we're going to leave the mesh sitting like it is, so you don't want to push this out of the way. You literally want to lay this right on top of the first layer that you just put on. Fan it out into the ruffle. And now you can see as we start to add this layer how full that's getting. All right, do you see how that filled up? So we went right on top of the first row of mesh, or the first layer of mesh. Look at that. Awesome. All right, let's take our Merry Christmas. That mesh, our twins are 4. I want that mesh. That mesh is actually available in our store at festivecreationsbystephanie.com. If anybody wants the number, I actually have the SKU number here. Let's add some pipe cleaners to our sign. So I'm going to add 4 pipe cleaners. We already, if you're just joining us, we already attached the cable tie mounts. So we're just going to add our pipe cleaners and then attach those to our board. What's really awesome about these Wreath Rail boards is, let me show you what the back looks like right now. Look how neat and clean that back is. Isn't that awesome? And of course, it is a thinner wreath, so you don't have that real bulkiness to the wreath. And like I said, in my neck of the woods, when I sell locally, that's what a lot of my customers are looking for. That's why I do a lot of grapevines. Do you sell those cable ties? I do not, Janet. You can get them on Amazon. In fact, I've got some more in my cart right now because I'm running low. It is something that I thought at some point I may start supplying, but at this time I do not. All right, so now we're going to take Mr. Claus, and this is also critical. When you go to attach your sign, and we're going to take this pipe cleaner down through the mesh, don't separate the mesh to get your pipe cleaner down there, because what it will do is create a permanent gap in your mesh. So you want to just go directly down and don't separate the mesh to get your pipe cleaner in there. I know back when I first started making wreaths, that's what I was doing. It was like, oh my gosh, this is a pain in the butt. I got to move the mesh out of my way just so I can get the pipe cleaner in there. Negative, ghostwriter. So it causes a permanent gap in your mesh, and then of course then the frame would show through. We don't want that. Not today. Not on our shift. No, Kathy. So on this method, no inside outside. Now you can, if you choose to go with, think about like the Dollar Tree frame where we go outside row, inside row. This method only does the 8 pipe cleaners on the crossbars here. That's it. All right, so I'm going to take this, attach my side. I've pulled it through the mesh. Now I'm going to tighten this down. And before I get it super tight, I'm going to check placement once again. Obviously, if you do the inside-outside rings, so what she's saying is put a pipe cleaner here and then here. So zigzag it. One here, one here. One here, one here. So you're zigzagging back and forth. You will want to allow more mesh to do that, or you're going to have to do smaller cuts of mesh. But this method only uses one roll, and look at how much mesh is still on that. So technically, I could get 2 rolls of the same color of mesh and do 3 rails. All right, so before I tighten that down, let me check my placement. This one needs to go a little tighter. Apparently, I'm being bashful with trying to get that a little tighter. There we go. And of course, those are and I always like to attach my sign before I start adding any ribbon, because this is where I would smush the heck out of it. Smush it. All right. So, you know, I had to bring out some fun ribbon. I really wanted to use this emerald green with the red stars because of the stars in the sign. So that is affirmative. Then, of course, the fun colors in the white, all the ribbon, and then 50 yards of red. So Yolanda's asking what this finished. So I'm going to break open my 50 yard of red because it is the beginning of Christmas and I know I'll be needing this a lot. So Kari is also, Hot Mesh Mom is also where I get my ribbon tail board from. So we are going to cut some ribbons and I'm going to cut some 13-inch tails, and guess what? I only need 8 of them. After I get it all twisted around. There we go. There's 2, and of course it's got glitter in it. 6 fours. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of this one, and we're going to do 8 of the emerald green stars with the red stars. And now we're going to add ribbon tails to each one of the pipe cleaners. Look at all that glitter. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to, whoops, I only need 1 of those. Stephanie, don't be an overachiever. Pinch that in half. And then I pleat it. Pleat it. Give it a little V shape. And go right in there on top of that pipe cleaner. Now, if you are somebody that likes tubing, I would add some tubing to this as well. Right at this point. And then I like to take an ink pen and curl these up. And just make it part of the design, right? Or if you have those little styrofoam balls, you know, you can get at Hobby Lobby, you know, the ones I'm talking about, they're about this size or a little bit larger. You can put some hot glue and put a little red or green styrofoam ball at the end of there. It makes it a little more festive, but just have fun with it, right? All right, so let's set that guy aside and let's add a bow. So we're going to be using 4 different ribbon on our bow. So, as I said, you guys could even embellish it even more by adding tubing. And then, as someone else mentioned, I think Kari did, you know, adding an ornament in there would add some additional flair. But look at that cutie. Look at that. I love the colors in this bow. That lime green really helped pop out all of our sign. He's so stinking cute. All right, guys, you have a great night. I will see you soon. Be safe and be kind, y'all.